Now, it's important to highlight out of the gate that the majority of the folks involved on this list aren't actually entirely in control of who they will and will not battle against or work alongside within a wrestling ring. But if they did have it their way, they will likely never again take certain finishers, team up with a loved one, or even occupy the same space as a former pal. Because I am Gareth here from What Culture Wrestling, and here are 8 wrestlers who will never work together again. Number 8, Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. After winning a typically savage trilogy against the most intimidating force on the WWE roster, Cody Rhodes unexpectedly had his arm raised by none other than Brock Lesnar himself at SummerSlam 2023. And in the immediate aftermath of that latest violent night spent with the Beast, this WrestleMania 39 main eventer openly admitted to never wanting to endure another Lesnar experience in between the ropes again. Unsurprisingly, he's not the only one who would prefer to leave their days of competing with the former UFC champion in the past either. When talking at the post-PLE press conference, Rhodes would note how he had a deep appreciation for his tormentor and how Lesnar actually hawked a loogie on him during their summer fight. Lovely. And he'd follow up those comments with an honest, "I'm very grateful for what's happened. I don't want to wrestle Brock Lesnar again." Far from being a knee-jerk response to being repeatedly taken to Suplex City over the last few months, Rhodes would then reiterate in an appearance on the My Mum's Basement podcast afterwards that along with Brock being a unicorn, he did not want to wrestle this monster again. So don't expect a Rhodes-Lesnar 4 on the road to this American nightmare attempting to once again finish the story. Number 7, Jon Moxley and Toru Yano. Former AEW World Champion Jon Moxley is the sort of respectable bloke who seems happy to shed blood with just about any performer on planet Earth. He'd probably do with you if you asked him nicely. However, there is actually someone out there who he doesn't want to ever cross paths with again. And no, it isn't a certain best in the world. More on him soon enough though. Back when the purveyor of violence first began to explore the world outside of WWE, in the wake of his departure from all things sports entertainment in 2019, Mox ended up entering that year's New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax. And it was during that legendary tournament when fans were treated to both the sight of Trunks Moxley and a rather silly/embarrassing showdown with Toru Yano. In the pair's one and only match to date, Mox ended up being counted out due to the sneaky Yano tying the former WWE champion to his pal Shota Umino with some tape, becoming the first person to conquer the one-time Dean Ambrose in the G1. After eventually signing with AEW, Mox would then comically note during 2019's New York Comic-Con that he never wants to get in the ring with Yano again, said evening was the worst night of his life, and that he never wanted to experience that horror again. You heard that right, the mighty Mox fears Yano, folks. Number 6, Brock Lesnar and Kevin Owens. Dave Meltzer would note just last year how WWE's box office attraction by the name of Brock Lesnar wasn't exactly over the moon about fighting Jinder Mahal back at Survivor Series 2017. So the call was made to instead have AJ Styles overcome the modern-day Maharaja on the road to that PLE, with those two going on to battle in a dream match at the Big 4 show. However, this isn't actually the only time the Beast Incarnate has straight up refused to lock up with a star in a WWE ring. According to Road Dogg when talking on his podcast about the multiple-time WWE champion simply feeling he could have a better match with AJ than Mahal at 2017 Survivor Series, Lesnar also once said he didn't want to work with Kevin Owens. The pair last fought in a one-on-one match back in March 2017, with Brock flattening KO in 2 minutes at a house show. And while the wrestlers have technically shared the ring on a number of occasions during various multi-person matches in the years since, most notably during Day 1's WWE Championship Fatal 5-Way, the fact the pair are still yet to battle in a TV or PLE singles match after being a part of the same roster for so long all but confirms that this beast remains rather uninterested in the idea of KOing Owens in a dream feud. Now, which awesome dream match are you still hoping could one day happen on WWE TV? Is it Owens versus Lesnar or something else? Let me know in the comment section below, my friends. Number 5, Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. Before she'd stolen many a show of shows or become a multiple-time WWE Women's Champion, Bianca Belair Belair made her main roster debut at a crowdless WrestleMania 36, helping her husband Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins as the Raw Tag Team Champions were attacked by Zelina Vega after their winning performance against Angel Garza and Austin Theory. The real-life couple would then appear on screen together a few more times in the coming years, most recently when the Street Profits helped his wife out of the Monday Night Raw arena in the wake of an Alexa Bliss assault at the start of the year. However, not too long after that aforementioned moment, Belair would tell Sherry in February that the two are both talented enough to have their own light and they simply enjoy supporting one another. On top of this, the idea of putting their marriage in a storyline and having to fight another girl for my man, as she put it, is clearly not something Belair is too excited about getting stuck into, with the EST of WWE explaining, "I'm like, listen, I don't have to fight for what's mine, okay?" So while the odd one-off appearance from the soon-to-be reality TV stars in between the ropes together doesn't appear to be completely off the table, a storyline involving the happily married wrestlers looks like a no-go for Belair and Ford. Number 4, CM Punk and Colt Cabana. Their profiles may be side by side on the AEW roster page, but that's about as close as one-time best buds CM Punk and Colt Cabana will likely ever get to sharing the same space ever again. It wasn't always this way though. There was a time when Cabana was one of the notable names the voice of the voiceless opted to drop during his infamous pipe bomb. The guy he turned to when Punk decided it was time to reveal the truth about his WWE exit, and a person he would happily put on a show with in between the ropes. But after winning a court case against WWE doctor Chris Amann in 2018, the two would end up suing one another over various legal and other fees before said case was ultimately dismissed. So when Punk eventually showed up in AEW a few years later, it came as no surprise to see that Punk and Cabana were kept very much apart on the likes of Dynamite and Rampage, though both Punk and Tony Khan have both insisted that the chick magnet had nothing to do with Cabana not appearing on AEW TV. Number 3, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Joining Cody Rhodes as a star who hopes that his final ever collision with the most terrifying beast in professional wrestling went down at the biggest party of the summer, Roman Reigns also publicly acknowledged the fact he was happily done fighting Brock Lesnar last year. Similarly to his WrestleMania 39 Undisputed Universal Championship challenger, the Tribal Chief told the Today Show in the lead up to SummerSlam 2022 that he hoped their ridiculous tractor fight that night was the last time he met his arch nemesis in the ring. Simply put, wrestling a former UFC heavyweight champion hurts, and it's pretty brutal having to take a trip to Suplex City every time a PLE comes around. So after sharing the likes of the grandest stage, battling in Saudi Arabia, and smashing each other at SummerSlam on multiple occasions, it now seems like the head of the table is understandably tired of being F5'd into next week. Should half the main event scene suddenly go down injured on the road to WrestleMania 40 though, there's always half a chance WWE will opt to yet again dust this never-ending rivalry off for one last blockbuster bout. But if Reigns has it his way, their balmy 2022 SummerSlam main event will be their last. Number 2, CM Punk and Jack Perry. The year was 2021, the month was September, and the show was AEW. Dark? A certain best in the world opted to wander down to the ring to send the live crowd home happy alongside babyface unit Jurassic Express. And it was in this moment when CM Punk told Jungle Boy Jack Perry that someday I'm gonna kick your ass. And while everyone in attendance collectively let out a cheer at the idea of the two one day attempting to get the better of each other in between the ropes, their long-awaited collision actually ended up going down backstage just under 2 years later. The fact said backstage scuffle reportedly started because of Jack Perry's 0-hour provocative glass reference down the lens, happened before Punk's match with Samoa Joe at an historic All-In 2023 event, pretty much guarantees neither man will be found working together on AEW programming going forward. One thing is certain though, Punk absurdly called it 2 years ago. Number 1, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Alongside his epic Brock Lesnar series of hard-hitting contests, Cody Rhodes has also formed one half of another stunning trilogy since returning to WWE in 2022. But after an instantly iconic debut and classic against the Visionary at WrestleMania 38, another strong showing opposite the one-time Shield man at WrestleMania Backlash, and a 2022 Match of the Year contender inside of Hell in a Cell, the American Nightmare appears to be over clashing with the current World Heavyweight Champion. Rhodes admitted exactly that when talking to Chris Van Vliet recently, claiming that that while the pair will likely never be friends, he still felt Rollins was an undervalued member of the WWE roster. The 2023 Royal Rumble winner would also add that he loved the Who's the Guy competition between the two top stars on Raw, before clearly stating that he doesn't want to wrestle Seth ever again. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the two main event talents won't occasionally join forces to take down the Judgment Day, of course, with the one-time rivals doing exactly that a few weeks ago on The Red Show. However, Rhodes is evidently interested in exploring new rivalries and finishing other stories in the coming years, not returning to a feud that has already produced 3 matches that would no doubt be pretty difficult to top. And that's our list. Know of any other wrestlers who will never work together again? Let us know all about them in the comments section right down below, and don't forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're down there. Also, if you like this sort of stuff, then please head on over to whatculture.com and find some more fantastic articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from What Culture Wrestling. Hopefully you'll come back and watch us again, but in the meantime, just be good to yourself. Bye bye!